This is going to be the fastest quilt you've ever made, friends. Hi friends, Tracy here from the Sewing Channel. What do you do when your grandson is in love with balls and you just happen to know how to sew and quilt, but you need something fast? You know, you don't want to mess with it too much. You just want a one and done kind of quilt, right? I got you. Enough talking already. Let's get busy making my grandson his favorite thing, balls. So you know, Joann's always has those sales, right? Flannel super cheap, like $4.99, $5.99 a yard or whatever, something like that. I was in the Joann's in my next town because the one in my town closed down, right? So I had to drive about 40 minutes away to get to it. And I ended up finding this basketball fabric and football fabric all in flannel. And I thought, ooh, my grandson will just love that because he goes crazy over balls. Boys, right? I ended up getting 1.5 yards each of these fabric. And the fabric is 43 or 44 inches. And I ended up cutting off the bottom up to 50 inches. I want to save the other flannel pieces for some pillowcases for him for this winter. He's going to have a quilt approximately 49-ish by 41-ish or something like that. I don't know. But, you know, it's good enough for him just to drag around and do whatever he wants to do with it, right? Drag it across the floor, let the dog sleep with him on it. You know, you know how kids are, right? Now, this all sounded great when I was thinking about it in my head. We'll put one side of the ball fabric, and then we'll put some batting, and then we'll put the other ball fabric. But I want to do a turn and burn, or a birthing, if you will. No, it's not a turn and burn. No, it's a birthing. I don't know. I laugh every time I hear the word birth your quilt, right? But that's the word, friends. I don't know. I did not make that up, just so you know. Anyways, I want to birth this quilt, which means no binding involved, but I still want to have some quilting on it, and I still wanted it to be nice and cozy, right? I have some cotton batting here. So let me show you how I'm going to sandwich this together and do a turn and birth quilt with some quilting. I'm going to take this basketball fabric, and I'm just going to leave the salvages on for now. No worries with that. We'll just, you know, work around them, right? I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do a wall basting. I do that sometimes when the fabrics are lighter. So I'm just going to pin this up, and I'm going to pin this way too and kind of stretch that fabric a little bit. Now, if you don't have a design board, just do it on the floor or on a big table. I mean, it's not really that big of a quilt. Once you have this fabric wrong side facing out, then you're going to grab your 505. This right here is a Rust-Oleum trigger, and that is really good. This handle will help if you have arthritis, and it's just awesome. Everyone needs one if you're doing a lot of spraying like I do. So you just take it and spray. This is going to be the fastest quilt you've ever made, friends. The fastest quilt that I've ever made, that's for sure. So I did pre-cut this already, and this was a scrap piece that I had taken off a quilt that I initially sandwiched and took it back off, so there's some fuzzies on it, but that's okay. And it's still a little sticky from when I took it off that other quilt. I knew eventually I was going to use it somehow. So now I'm going to just take this and line it up, make sure it's on there best I can, and just cut yours to fit or not. You can always do it after. So I'm just going to spread this batting over, and I'm going to unpin and repin as I spread. Just going to spread that batting right over that 505, and it's going to give it a nice adhesion. 505 is really nice. I enjoy 505. When I tried to switch off and do something different, I was not happy. 505 is the name of the game. Make sure there's no wrinkles in it. Spread everything out. Then you're going to unpin it, and it should be stuck, so you shouldn't have any worries of it coming undone. Take it off your design wall or off your table, whatever you're working with. Now we're just going to turn this around and repin it back up here. This is how I worked it out in my head, friends, so don't come at me just yet if I'm doing it wrong. I had thought about pre-quilting a little bit on this with this connected, but I don't think I'm gonna. So make sure, you know, this side you'll be able to see any wrinkles or anything. These have to be out totally because we're turning and birthing. Fastest quilt, friends, ever. You watch. My plan is to quilt it afterwards. So we'll see. Because you can quilt a quilt after it's been quilted or after it's together, but you run a chance of puckering. Now I'm going to take the football fabric. I'm going to make sure the salvages are together, like this salvage is right here because that's how I cut it. And I'm going to line it up right along here. Now these are not perfectly square, so I think I may trim them square prior to sewing them. I'm not sure. Don't spray this though because you don't want those to be stuck together, you know, this and this. So I'm going to grab my basting pins and I'm going to just pin these toward the sides and around the edges. And I'm going to press out as I go, like that. Now I'm not pinning into my design board, I'm pinning all 3 layers, the batting, and both sides. We'll see if it works, I don't know. I have a feeling it might pucker a little bit, that's why I'm going to have to really pay attention to doing, you know, not long lines into the seam allowance. They'll have to be kind of, you know, out by themselves, I guess, is what I'm thinking. I mean, this is just to get my grandson some smiles. Because, you know, we love to see our grandkids just beam, right? I know I do. And if I can do it with something that I know how to do, like sewing and quilting, I'm going to do it every time, guaranteed. Now I'm going to unpin it off of the wall. And I'm going to try to trim it straight on the corners. One side note, I did pre-wash this particular flannel project only because it felt really super stiff. And I knew, you know, it probably had a lot of sizing product on it, and I really didn't want to touch that and work with that because I could tell it was really thick. So I did pre-wash it and it did soften up. So just be mindful if anything feels really stiff when you get it from the store, it probably just needs washed a couple times. Okay. So I'm just going to line that up with the fold. Get it as straight as I possibly can. This is probably the hardest part in the whole project, or the most tedious probably. All right. And we can even kind of, you know, put it like this and just see where we're at. And that is spot on, if not spot on. You probably want to make sure that the batting lays down so that the feed dogs catch it, because that's going to be the thing that the feed dogs, you know, need to do some work on, rather than it being up top, I think. Now I just have to figure out where my opening is going to be. It could be anywhere. I'm probably going to leave, I don't know, you know, about that much or so to birth and turn our quilt. Okay? And this right here, I'm going to clip that. So that will remind me to stop. Now make sure that you definitely backstitch on these. And right now I have my zipper foot on from when I did those wallets. If you haven't seen that RFID shielding fabric quilted wallet video I just did, oh my word, check it out. Check it out. You'll want to. If you do any kind of traveling or you go anywhere and you're around people, you definitely need one of those wallets. Really, you do. I'm probably going to do just a little bit more than 1/4 inch on this. I don't know why I feel like I need to, but I'm gonna. The nice thing about using these safety pins to hold the quilt together rather than pins, you're not going to get poked. And if you put them on the inside, you won't have to take them off until the very end, so you won't have to stop while you're sewing. Tip for you. Make sure to back stitch. I'm going to take this down to a 2. Just a little over a 2 millimeter stitch length. So I'm just going to take this off before I go on that last leg there, just to make sure that there's no wrinkles. I have a feeling this might not work, friends. I do have a feeling. I don't know. Well, maybe it'll just look puffy in certain spots. Oh dear. See, these are those ideas I get in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, it'll work, it'll work, it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Stick around, because we're about to find out. Maybe I should have just put binding on it. I don't know. Okay, we're coming up to this part here, and it looks like there's no slack in there, so that's good so far. So I'm going to take that clip out. Stop about there and back stitch. You have that opening right there, and it doesn't seem to have slack, so that's good. So now I'm just going to take all these out. I said this was fast, right, friends? And I'm doing it fast. We're almost done. Not really. Almost, but not really. Almost, though, Tracy. Nope, not really. Oh, yeah, I'm talking to myself now. Oh, my goodness. My grandma always said, if you can't laugh, then you'll end up crying. So you better just start laughing. That was her wisdom to me, and I love that, and I think about that all the time. So I choose to laugh rather than to cry, right? Good old grandma. I miss her terribly. We were like best friends. We were the best of friends. So I can still tell you her phone number to this day. When I was little, I can share it out right now, but you know, I'm not gonna, because I don't know who has that number now, although nobody has landlines anymore, do they? I don't know. Where's that hole? So we can birth this baby. Find your opening and pull this out and birth this baby. Oh my goodness. I don't know why you all keep coming back. I really don't. Okay. Well, it looks good so far. The good thing about these dark colors is maybe, you know, any mistakes won't show up. That'll be good, right? So if you have a pokey tool, which I don't know where mine is, you can poke the corners out. Now you can cut the corners, which I should have done that, so that the bulk gets out of there, but if they look okay, I'm just gonna leave them, because you know, that's the kind of quilt this is, right? I mean, the corners don't look too bad. This is a one and done quilt, friends. That's why, you know what? We ain't got time to snip corners, right? Not in this quilt anyways. I don't know, it looks all right. It looks all right because you know what? I can't find my turning tool. It's not close. I just used it in the last tutorial too. You'd think it would be right here. I mean, it looks pretty good so far. I will link this down below. Everybody asked about it in the last video. And you can see here, I've covered it so many different times because you know how they get dirty. And there's the original one right there. So I will link it. It's a set of 3. It's a cutting mat, a turntable, and an ironing station. So that's all this is, friends. You know, I made this myself. You just measure it and just, you know, no big deal. You don't have to buy the whole set. You can actually just get somebody to make you a round piece of wood and just put batting on it and a topper with elastic. Easy, right? I mean, because this is like $70 some or $100 now, $120 for the set of 3. You don't need to pay that, friends. Just make it. You can get a piece of wood for a couple bucks and make your thing on it, right? Yeah, just do that. But I will put the link in case anybody does want to purchase it. So we're going to roll these seams out and we're going to give them a press. Just a quick press. And I'm just going to go around and do that. And when you get to that opening, you're just going to fold, you know, a little over 1/4 inch that space that we birthed our baby or birthed our quilt in. Okay. So here are my thoughts. I don't know if I should do the top stitching now because I'm going to close this up and go all the way around on the, you know, the edge and then do the quilting, or should I do the quilting on the inside and then the top stitching? I'm thinking I should probably do the top stitching, right? Let me put it back up here just to make sure that I have no big gapes, right? Because we don't want any big gapes. Putting it up wrong in the sense that the long ways I'm putting horizontal. You know what, friends? I think this is going to work. So I can push a lot of that here, right? I don't think I'm going to have any big gapes. I need to make sure though that this is nice and in there. That's the only thing I think. And I do think I have a little bit more green. So I'm going to tuck even a little bit more green down in there. Not too much though. If I do that, then it'll look crazy. Let me pin those two together right there. I don't know, where's all my stuff? Where is my stuff? Like these are my pins for up here. I need my other pins. Under there. So I'm tucking that green in just a little bit extra. So maybe what I should do is quilt it and then do the outside. I don't know. What do you think I should do, friends? You're not going to be able to coach me on this because I'm going to have this video out. I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. This is not stuck in the wall because it has nothing to stick into over here. I was thinking maybe my quilt line should just be like slash marks, you know, all in here. Then that way it can just be random, right? And you won't be able to see, right, the puckers if there is any. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I think I am going to take this down and I'm going to put a top stitch all around it first. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to put slash marks. And then this quilt is going to be done. Oh, I can't wait. He's going to be so excited. He actually saw this fabric in here. It was tucked in my little bin over here that I have. And when he came over last week, he saw it. I had just washed it and put it in that area. And he came in my sewing room the one day I was watching him last week. And he immediately saw this fabric and he's like, Mimi, ball, Mimi. And he went to touch it and I had to grab him because I really didn't want him to see any of it just yet. Because, you know, it kind of looks the same. It's just a piece of fabric, right? That's all he sees anyways. So I'm hoping, you know, that he'll be surprised. Okay, friends, we're right at the end to officially close everything up where we birthed this quilt. And backstitch, and we're all closed up. You can't leave it like this though, friends. You can't, because it's going to shift in here and it's not going to wash well or anything. So we have to figure out what we're going to do here. I don't see any trouble spots really at all. So I'm just going to go through from this side. I'm just going to make a bunch of marks, I think. A bunch of slash marks, I think. I am going to start in the center though, because you know, whenever you do something like this, you should always start in the center. Even if you're free motion quilting and you have to put binding on in the end, pretend like it's parallel, you know, or horizontal or however. I'm going to come across like that And I'm going to see where I end up and see if it does gape when I get to the other side. I don't know. It might. Really, it might. So I'm just going to start right here. I'm just going to do worst case scenario, I unpick it. That's all. But make sure that you put, you know, about 2.5 to 3 millimeter stitch length whenever you do any top stitching. All right, just do it, right? We're going to back stitch. I mean, I seriously cannot push this fabric. It's crazy. The only thing is, though, I might not get it too straight. I should have probably drew the first line, right? I hear you. I hear you screaming at me, friends. I honestly don't think Roro will notice, though. I really don't. We might be okay. All right, pray for me. We might be okay, friends. I think we are. Oh, yeah. There you go, friends. No gape and no gape. So I started on that end, right? So I am going to turn the quilt because I want there to be even pull on both sides, if you know what I mean. Because if we keep going in the same direction with the quilt lines, our quilt will bunch up, you know, all that excess in that one corner. So we want to make sure that we even that out. So now I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to gauge it. I'm not going to, you know, not getting out my ruler or anything. I'm just going to, it's probably about 1.5 inches space there or so. I mean, and I can go bigger if I want. But I am going to kind of gauge it, you know, along here and kind of eyeball that straightness, straight-ishness. They're not even. They're not even. I can tell already, the lines, but that's okay. It's organic, you know. Everybody likes organic, right? I wanted to let you know that there's an ad coming right up here for Flexi Spot. So just take a second and look at it, or don't. All the links for everything that you're about to see will be down in my description box. Enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end to show you this quilt. Ow! This is my husband's chair, and yeah, it is totally not comfortable. I'm very particular about who I let sponsor my videos. They sent me this email and said that they would send me a chair if I did a video on it, and I thought, well, you hear this? My husband needs a new chair. If you give me 2 chairs, then we have a deal. And so that's what I did. So once I had a deal with Flexi Spot, the gentleman for Flexi Spot put in my order, and it literally came within 7 days. Super fast. This is the second chair you're watching right here be delivered. Oh, and if you didn't know, this is my husband, Steve. All right, friends, we're in our new chair. Well, honey, was it easy to put together?
Very easy, just a few pieces to clip together. Here we are sitting in it already.
And it's got a vibration. Can you feel it? How's that feel on your back?
Got a little vibration, legs, thighs, lumbar.
How's the heat doing?
But we'll crank her up.
Well, that'll be good for winter, because you love to lay on heated stuff, right?
And it's got a timer on here too, so you can set the timer for 45, no, 45, 30, and 60. No, 15, 30, and 60. Need new glasses, forget the chair.
I think it was worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's firm and comfortable and cozy and just the right size for a guy my size.
Now, can we kick it back?
We can kick it back,
yeah,
kick it up,
see how
and kick it out. Right here, you got a little pull here. And there you go. We can.
All right. Okay.
I may never have to go to bed again.
Oh, I can feel it vibrating on my feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very nice.
And we both fit in it. And you're right in the center.
Look at that.
Will the grandkids all fit in here?
Yeah, for now.
One's a win. Now we're on to the next chair. Now, as you can see in this second chair right here, my Roro, he is loving on it. It's a smaller scale, which is super nice for him. And of course, he's got his new blanket from his Mimi. So hopefully you can see this a little bit better than the other side. I want you to notice that I did end up doing a cross-hatch design, which all that is just, you know, crisscrossing it. Went one way and then I went the other way with the sewing machine. Super easy, super fast. He's gonna flip out when he sees this. I just know it. Friends, it was just that easy. Now you have no excuse not to make a quilt for a friend or a relative or a grandkid or anyone. You know how kids are. I don't know. With some quilting. Oh. No matter if it works or not, it's going to be my next video. I choose to laugh rather than to cry, right? Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't know why you all keep coming back. I really don't. Pray for me. Smile.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for a guy my size,
now
so kick it out. Do it.
Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.